Fellow citizens, fellow San Diegans, and fellow Americans, my name is Leslie Williams, and today's date is June 20th, 2012. And now, look in the comments feature of this YouTube video because you're going to be able to see me showing you a video that shows that the digital tape recorder that I was wearing attached to my clothing today when I went, it was already attached to my clothing. I went to go to Walmart's today to buy a memory card and to buy a blowhorn in case I get attacked along my routes. It's like one of those sports horns that you can press and makes a loud noise because of what happened towards me at the Old Town Trolley Station the night before last, where I was physically threatened again. It was a staged incident. It's what is known as a street theater in organized stalking circles. So I made it a point yesterday. I was sick with a migraine all day yesterday. So this morning when I got up, I decided to go to Walmart's before coming here to buy a blowhorn, and I got a memory card for my video camera and some facial wipes and a couple of bananas and stuff like that. So anyways, and then I went back out to the bus stop and to catch the bus to come here to go to SDSU. And then on the bus, I thought to myself, I think I'm going to stop off at the FBI. Why not? Why not just stop up at the FBI and make a report? So I did. And I got off the bus route at the corner of Ruffin Road and right at Aerial Drive, right at their corner. And I walked over there. And I talked to two security guards for I'd say almost at least 20 minutes, 25 minutes, before somebody finally came out to talk to me. And so in the comments feature of this YouTube video, you're going to see me showing you that I was attempting to transfer to you, to this video camera, what was caught on digital audio file as a result of that meeting, as a result of me approaching the FBI, talking to two security guards, asking to see an FBI agent, and then one finally coming out. And I finally got down here to SDSU, this actual room, at 6 o'clock. And the reason why that is because when I first got here, I decided to spend an hour and a half uploading some videos. Then I went down into the media room and watched a movie while doing administrative work. Then I went and had lunch. Then I went back and used the last 30 minutes of the computer time that you're allowed 2 hours to use the computer here at SDSU. I went back and used the last 30 minutes of my 2-hour computer time. Then I went back out and had a cigarette and then came down here and attempted to listen to the file for the first time. Now, I did play it back earlier today for a second just to make sure that it took, and at the beginning of the file, it sounds fine. So I didn't have no reason to believe the file was corrupted. But when I got down here, not even just about, I'd say I've been down here about 7 minutes now, I went to go play it, and I knew that the actual meeting with the FBI agent was at the end of the digital audio file because right after I talked to him, I left. And then when I left and started walking up the street, I took the digital tape recorder off of my clothing and then stopped the recording. So I knew me meeting with him was only about 6-7 minutes long at the very most, and I knew that that meeting took place right at the end of the digital audio file. So I went to go fast forward the file, and by the time I got up to about 12 minutes towards the end of it, you can't even hear anything. You can hear me talking to him, but you can barely hear it. And I just went and transferred a portion of that to a video, and I'm going to copy and paste, and I'm going to upload that video to YouTube, and then copy and paste the title of it in the comments feature of this one, so you can literally witness before your eyes this tape recorder going from normal recording to it being shut down to the point to where you cannot hear anything that's being said right before your eyes. Now, the reason why I'm stating this is because you can go to Google and type in a remote neural monitoring, and in the remote neural monitoring file, you can flat out read that one of the capabilities that is described in the remote neural monitoring file is the ability to be able to infiltrate any electronic device and literally infiltrate the internal functions of that device in order to be able to compromise the functions of the device or to erase any data. Okay? And so this is what we have to understand. Now, at the beginning of the tape also was a little bit of interference as well. And but understand the bus stop that I was at when I was making the statements at the beginning of the digital audio file, was right around the block from the FBI, because I was at Walmart, and Walmart is right next door to the FBI building. So I just got on the bus. I wasn't planning on going to the FBI building. I got on the bus and I had the idea in my head to go there, and I went. So as a result of you not being able to hear what was stated between me and the FBI agent, I'm going to have to describe to you what I told him. Now, I have enough common sense not to trust any government agency in reference to these type of expeditions that are going on towards me, just as a result, and not including my own special feelings that I have in reference to them, but because of the simple fact that I've read hundreds of blogs and I've seen videos and everything talking about how the FBI and other federal agencies have turned away and even brought legal actions against targets that have complained about organized stalking and remote neural monitoring, electronic harassment. So when I went down there today, my goal was to talk to them just about organized stalking, because of the simple fact that I've read hundreds of blogs concerning other targets saying that they've spent thousands of dollars trying to get help through the federal government, and they end up getting screwed. Totally just screwed over and didn't get one bit of help. Now, and since I know how organized stalking expeditions try to petition targets into the hospital to discredit them with false mental diagnoses, I was not about to tell them that I'm a target of electronic harassment or remote neural monitoring, because that's one of the main reasons why these individuals use these types of technologies, so they can then turn around and call you crazy. That is a literal aspect and literal method of organized stalking, is to get you to complain about what's happening to you so they can call you crazy. That's one of the reasons why you're targeted, so they can institutionalize you to take over your finances, to exploit your Medicare, and to possibly even exploit you sexually. It's organized crime in the system. Now, so when I went up there and I waited about 25 minutes, and an FBI agent finally came out, and he had a little notebook in his hand and a pen, and his name was Mario W. something. I believe that's what his name was, Mario W., because I saw it on his little badge. And he appeared to be Mexican, and he had black hair and a real thin mustache. Anyways, I told him, I go, sir, I told him my name, and I go, sir, have you ever heard of organized stalking? He said, yes, I have. I said, okay. I go, well, then I'm here to let you know that I'm a target of organized stalking, and that I have attempted on 9 separate occasions to file a police report with the San Diego Police Department that I am a target of organized stalking, and that I'm experiencing organized stalking tactics towards me along all my routes. And he said, he goes, why don't you tell me what's going on? And so I went on to tell him a little bit about sensitization tactics. Okay, I didn't mention anything about what they were doing towards me. I just mentioned that I'm being subjected to sensitization tactics. And then I said, can you please explain to me what you know about organized stalking? Because my whole goal was to get him to open up, to make sure that he would validate that organized stalking does exist in depth, in more detail than just him saying, yes, I know about organized stalking. And he wouldn't. He just kept going back and turning the question back on me. Why don't you tell me what's going on? So I said, okay. Well, I go. Well, I have looked at a lot of targets blogs, and I have at one time talked to a lawyer, and he in turn did some in-depth research into it, and he advised me as a result that if I ever talk to any government official, the best thing for me to do is just to steer them to the internet so they can invest organized stalking on their own. That way I don't have to be specific about what kind of methods and tactics are being used towards me, because of the simple fact that organized stalking tactics are the same towards all targets. So it would be very easy for any law enforcement agency, whether it be the FBI, the San Diego Police, any police department in the United States, can go on the internet and look up organized stalking and or gang stalking and thoroughly investigate it, and they'll come to understand that every single target is complaining about the same exact thing, and that they are harassed in the same exact ways. Literally. Now, you can go to Google and type in a gang stalking tech, everything you need to know. It's a manifesto of a gang stalker, of a manager of gang stalking, organized stalking crews. He went offline and typed in who they are, who they're connected to, what they're about, and how they operate, in part. He then went to an internet cafe and posted it online, and it spread like wildfire all over the internet. And you can find this manifesto just by typing in a gang stalking tech, everything you need to know. Okay, now the whole goal in this manifesto, it flat out states that the courts are the favorite place to trap a target. Psychiatrists are all mentioned throughout the whole entire thing, that it's organized crime in the system, okay? And it's flat out mentioning judges, lawyers, psychiatrists, doctors, police officers, firefighters. Do you get the picture? Okay? So basically what they're basically just doing is targeting people for multiple aspirations and multiple motives, including human experimentation, which is referred to as research and lab rats in the manifesto. And so basically, so then after I told him that he could go to the internet and discover what organized stalking is by researching it online, that's all I told him. Then I told him about how I caught 3 teenagers admitting to me that they were put on the 928 bus route to harass me by a third party by the name of Jamar, and that these 3 teenagers got on the bus route that I was already on, and that these 3 teenagers were directed to get on the bus to harass me specifically, and that I caught them admitting it on digital audio file, and I told them that I uploaded that audio file to a video file and then uploaded it to YouTube. He did not care. He listened, but he did not care. Okay, he didn't ask me for any particulars or not, about it at all. And and that's all I told him. Now you can hear my conversation with this FBI agent on a scale of 1 to 10 at about 0.5, which means that's half of 1. Okay, so I'm going to keep it and try and figure out a way to be able to adjust it to where it can be brought out, which is probably going to be very hard. But the point I'm trying to make to you today is that I want American citizens and San Diegoans. He told me he was going to follow up and get a hold of the San Diego police and tell them to take a report from me about being subjected to organized stalking tactics. But I would not doubt in my mind whatsoever. I also mentioned to him, I go, well, what else are you going to forward to him? I go, you're not, because I told him that I'm aware that sometimes when law enforcement agencies make reports, that they'll include in the report that the target seems or might be possibly mentally ill, like with schizophrenia, delusional, bipolar, paranoid schizophrenic. And I said, because that's one of the organized stalking tactics that they engage in, okay, since sometimes police reports are falsified as a result of these expeditions. And I said, when I go down, if I go down to the San Diego police, I go, what's going to be forwarded to them, because I'm aware that some things at times get forwarded like that as a result of targets being part of these types of expeditions, and as a result, these types of things are done. And he looked at me and he didn't say nothing. So I'm here to tell you today that my name is Leslie Williams, and I did not get specific and any details at all about how I was being harassed along my routes as a result of being a target of organized stalking. So he should have no reason whatsoever to make any type of statement in his FBI report that I'm mentally ill or delusional or paranoid schizophrenic, which is a method of gang stalking. He did tell me, though, that he would contact the San Diego police and tell them to take a report for me. And I said, well, what if they won't take a report? And he said, well, that's their choice. Now, that's a violation of my civil rights, because I'm going to tell you something right now. No matter what anybody can say right now today, you can go to Google and type in organized stalking universities and get almost 8 million responses if this kind of crime wasn't going on. All right, so I wanted fellow San Diegoans and fellow Americans to know that this is all I said to him in reference to, hang on a second. Think about this. If I caught 3 teenagers admitting they were put on the bus to harass me. Now, if I catch 3 teenagers that were put on the bus to harass me in a digital audio recorder and then upload it to YouTube, okay, and then people comment about this is great evidence on YouTube, and I tell him about it today, why wasn't he interested in that? In fact, in the April 29, 2012 incident that just happened on the bus, I told a San Diego police officer that I caught 3 teenagers admitting they were put on the bus to harass me. The same bus I was assaulted on. They didn't give 2 shits. All right, my name is Leslie Williams. This is a tidbit file in reference to me going to the FBI building. Make sure you look at the video of this digital tape recorder literally being compromised as you're looking at it, in reference to right before the FBI agent came out to talk to me. You can't hear any of his statements on him. I got to hold it up to my ear like that to barely hear it. I got to go because this is almost 15 minutes long. San Diego, California, June 20th, 2012.